Mr. V. Sridharan Balaji, sir. So thank you so much, sir, for accepting our invitations. So I welcome all the participants for the webinar series on recent trends in civil engineering. So now I am invite Mr. Shankar, coordinator of the program, to introduce the guest to the participants. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning to everyone. It gives an immense pleasure to introduce our today's speaker, Mr. V. Sridharan Balaji, sir. Mr. V. Sridharan Balaji, sir, is currently working as a tech lead in both IT and civil software developments and maintenance. He is also a client-side engineer for Cognizant Technology, Chennai. He completed his bachelor's in civil engineering from Sri Krishna College of Technology, Coimbatore, and has worked as a various field experience. He also worked as a site engineer from ESA Schools of Construction and as a client site engineer for Wipro and HP Construction Developments. He also is an individual contractor and has constructed various luxury villas in Coimbatore. He is well versed in AutoCAD, ArchiCAD, StatPro, and Linux softwares. We take an immense pleasure in welcome you, sir. Kindly take over the today's session. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Shankar. Thanks for the warm greetings. Hi, good morning to all present here. And I'm Sridharan Balaji. So I think Shankar has given a brief introduction about me. So I just let me put in this way. So I'm working as a site engineer at my beginning of my career. So and along with that, I'm interested in software. So I'm just been into the IT industry. So through Campus Select, I've been into Wipro. So I worked for 3 years there. So initially I was interested in software development in both IT softwares and also our civil related softwares. So after being that, so I got an opportunity after 2 years in Wipro. So they have been constructing a new building for our new client side project. So I've been appointed as a client side engineer there. So I just put forward myself. I'm being interested. I'm part of civil engineering. I'm being into IT because I'm been more interested to softwares and development thing. So with my bachelor's in completing in civil engineering, they put me in client side engineer. So first I've been appointed as an assistant client engineer there. So I have been a supervisor. I have learned a lot of things how a client engineer will work. So usually we guys, right? So while we are studying, so we'll be more into it, the core engineers and how we design things and how our structural things works, everything there. So we are more part of our, construction side. So we are less exposed to our client side. So once being a client engineer, we also have, specifications and so some more specializations we need to do actually. So how the client behaves and how we have to, make our contractors work and what was the expectation from the client. Everything we can, easily get to know about when we are working in a client side engineer, as a client side engineer. So even in Isha, right? So while I'm, in my initial career, when I was working in Isha Constructions, there were client engineers, they were there. So even the client engineers will have more knowledge than our site engineers. So that is more the more welcoming and more warming thing, and we can able to learn a lot of things when we are working closely with the client engineer. So when you are building a good rapport with the client engineer in any projects, when you are doing it individually or you are working in a big firm or anywhere. So when you are having a good rapport with the client engineer, then it'll automatically it'll be a good knowledge gaining part, and you will be more into how the client side will work. And when you know the expectations clearly, so then the outcome of your work will be more welcoming, and you'll be getting more opportunities and more clients, everything, and your in either your business or a career will go in a good way. So this all we are going to discuss about the scope and our various opportunities. So how we are diverse in there. So how our everything will be there. So that we are going to discuss here. So how much the skills we have to procure, and how are the the ocean of opportunities we have for our department, actually mainly civil. So that's our core part of engineering, and that's the oldest of all the engineering fields we have today. So if we let's take it as a interactive session. So anything your the experience which you have gained in your studies, and also the exposures you got, and also I'm ready to share the exposure I have too. So let's put it in an interactive way. So that will be really helpful. That will be more interesting. So that so let's not take it more theoretically, or take it more the slide oriented way. So let me put it that way. So let's go to the presentation. So do you have any questions? You can stop me at any time, so that I'm ready to hear and accept, and I'll answer those things. So shall we start that?
Yes, sir. Shall we start?
Yeah. So here we are going to see about scope for our civil engineering. So what are the scopes? What are the job opportunities, careers, and what are the fields there, and where we can excel our interest there, and what are the opportunities, and what are the scopes there, and where we can each individual will be having different kind of interest. Even basically we are bachelor of engineering in civil engineering. So but still we have specialization in our in individual aspects, actually. So like some people will be more interested over field work, some people will be more interested in design, some people will be more interested in software, some people will be interested in in management. So there are a lot of things, lot of aspects, lot of areas where we can develop our skills, so that we can become specialized in in every field, so that it will be comfortable, right? So if anyone is more interested in doing own business also,
Hello, sir.
that will be. Yeah, can you hear me?
Sir, your PPT is not visible in, sir.
Yeah, just 1 minute. Yeah, is that visible now?
Sir, now it's visible, sir. So please
Yeah.
continue, sir.
Yeah, okay, fine.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So let's start. These are the contents we are going to discuss about today. So what are the introduction about our civil engineering and disciplines, role of a civil engineer in society. So that's more important. So the society and every the country, even the state or city, everything is been in the hands of civil engineers. So the development is begins with us, actually. So how come the country is being said as a developed or a developing country or underdeveloped country? So it's all based on the the infrastructures. So that gives a base, actually. So even though the economy, agriculture, everything is there, the civil engineer, who is going to build the base for it. So for everything, actually, for for economic developed country, or an agriculture developed country, or on an educationally developed country, or whatever may be, the civil engineer needs to build the base for it. So we are the stepping stones, and we are the the basic platform. Like our term, it literally means we are the foundation of all the the developments which we are undergoing, and which were already there for the developed countries. And what are the effects of our infrastructure facilities will do? So we have built the structures. So but how the how the effect of the infrastructures we have built, actually? So what impact that is going to given is that will provide to the for the development, and also for the people who are going to use it, and what are the career opportunities? So what are the job opportunities? How the, how once we are completing the BE and how our aim is, so how we are going to, excel in our career. So what are the jobs, everything there, right? So those things, right, will be, discussed here. So this is our introduction to our civil engineering. So let's just forget about. So we are the, the oldest branch of civil engineering. The engineering, right? So oldest branch of engineering is civil engineering. So you can you can come across the term, right, engineer. So so probably a civil engineer is the one who will be called as an engineer by common people. So it's been, you have been seen in the movies or even you have seen in the sites, right? No other engineer like software engineer or mechanical engineer, whoever maybe. So no one will be called as an engineer by a common people unless he's a civil engineer. So that is what the pride, right? So it has been followed from a long back once engineering has been invented and how we are. So it's not about engineering, right? So it's the basic amenity, right? It's a home. You need a home. You need a place to live. Like, so it's like a famous saying, right? It has been said in Tamil. It's like unavu udai urayul. So it's after food and dress, you definitely need a home to live on it. You need a shelter. So the one who builds the shelter, right? So that's all. It's after everyone, right? So we are the first people to to give shelter to the needies. So to maybe it's for the people, common people, or for the government, or for the private, or for anyone. So we have few set of disciplines to be followed when you are when you are at the learning phase of civil engineer, or once you are completing the civil engineering field here. So we have to be so basically why we have more calculative and more mathematical subjects in our papers. So we have to analyze everything literally. So once we are into step into a field, right, field of constructing anything, even a small house, so you have to calculate everything. You have to analyze each and everything actually. So like cost wise or material wise, or you have to satisfy the clients. You have to you have to bear the cost of it, and you have to bear the cost of any unexpected things that has been happened in the site, natural calamities or any disasters or any accidents. You have to you have to calculate everything. So that's why we have few disciplines, like like you have to analyze everything. So once you are been into the site for a fresh construction, right, you have to analyze the site. You have to analyze, so what are the surroundings, and how about the people who are there. So your transportation feasibilities, your soil behavior, the water availability, the material availability, the labors availability, everything you have to analyze. And you have to design the things actually. So before executing anything, you have to design completely. You have to work it out. You have to plan your building. So you have to plan your design. So you have to plan your estimate, everything you have to so you have to design it perfect. And then you are going to you have to construct the building. So once the construction starts, you will be facing a lot of things. So like even lot of unexpected things will be happens. So what has been put in the design will not come up as it is in the real world actually. So you have to you have to adjust a lot of things, and you have to make the things stand as per the design. So you have to struggle a lot, and you have to technically work, and you have to calculatively build it from the beginning. So once the design is once the design is plotted in the paper, so it is not easy to execute in the real world actually. So you have to calculative, you have to analytic, you have to be technically, and you have to be capable of doing and executing everything at the basement level itself. Then only you will be getting the fruit at the end, like how you are designed it in the paper, that will be become in the real world. So then you have to, it's not going to end at the once the construction is done. You have to maintain the facilities. So what are the constructions you have been done? So you have to maintain until if you are not going to maintain anything, so it is not going to help you in any means. So the maintenance is more important than construction actually. So that speaks how good you are an engineer is. So these are our different fields or disciplines in our civil engineering. So what are the areas we have? We can we can create our interest and we can work on it and we can dwell there. Like we have field like building materials, we have building constructions, we have structural engineering, we have geotechnical engineering, we have hydraulics and water resource and irrigation engineering, we have water supply and sanitary engineering, we have environmental engineering, and we have transportation, town planning, surveying, drawing, estimation, management studies, and our latest technology, we have the software computer applications. So just we can have a quick interaction. So why we choose civil engineering? So anyone can express why is that? What makes you to learn civil engineering? What makes you to become a civil engineer? So anyone can. So let's put it in an interactive way, like mere like a discussion. So we can work it like that.
As civil engineer is a mother of engineering, sir.
Okay. What makes you take civil engineering? So let's just forget about it is the oldest engineering, so it is been top of all the engineering fields. So what makes you what made you to choose engineering, and what made you to become a civil engineer actually? Yeah, and your good name? Yeah.
So I'm Shankar.
Yeah, hi Shankar. Yeah, tell me Shankar. So what made you to choose civil engineering? So is there any story or any story behind your how you chose civil engineering, how you been into this field?
So to construct any new eco-friendly house.
Okay.
That's all.
Okay.
Sir,
Yeah.
I am Manimekale Prasanna.
Yeah, hi Manimekale. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir. Sir,
Good morning.
I am an architect by profession. I badly wanted to choose civil engineering, and just because my father wanted me to get married to a close relative, the architecture counseling came first, so I chose architecture.
Okay.
But I have always wanted to choose a course that is closer to civil engineering, because anyway I would be missing my counseling. I know that. So I chose architecture basically because it is closer to civil engineering, and I may not be able to choose civil engineering at that point of time. But once when I got into the details of statistics, where I managed to score 94-95% in design of structures and mechanics of structure, my history of architecture scores were always less. So there is always an interest based on the statistical part of it, because without quantifying any data, I think it's invalid. So I feel the statistical part of civil engineering is what so good about it. Yes.
Yeah, that's perfect. This is what we wanted. Actually, everyone has a story to to choose. It's not about a passion. It's not even I was I wanted to be in a mechanical engineering. Just by watching some movies, GV movies, everything there. I wanted to be a mechanical engineer. Literally, I wanted to be a mechanical engineer actually. So, but unfortunately, I didn't get through in counseling. So I was opted in. The next option is civil engineering. Even my mom is a civil engineer, so I think she can't continue her job after her marriage. So it's not, I don't have any interested in civil engineering. So, but but when I just I didn't get any option to be in a mechanical engineering. So we just chose civil engineering. But once after once after joining the college, right? So it became it became used to it. So it's not I don't know, it's because of the friends I have got or the staffs the who taught me, and basically I'm more interested in maths, and I'm good at maths actually. So that made me to get more close to the subject actually. So we have more calculations and more everything analytics and mathematics, right? So that's what. So I'm more close to it. So that's what. So I developed my interest there, and so while in college, and we have performed. I participated in all symposiums related to that, and the projects we carried out, so that came into effect actually, seriously. So there are the one project we have done for just for fun actually. So I don't know we are going to that is going to happen or not here in Coimbatore, but it happened actually. So near Vadavalli, right? So there is a new bus terminus there. So actually we selected the plot and we did a project and we submitted there. But we don't know at that time actually that there is definitely a terminus going to happen there or not. It's a small terminus actually, but it is we are not sure about it. So that is going to happen in real life or not. But we just did it for fun and we designed and we gave it everything. But it happened after after 7 or 8 years. 7 years it happened actually. So that really we didn't expect. So that's what, right? So the things we are going doing it for, so just for fun or for anything, so it will definitely be an impact there. So when we are doing it in a full interest actually, because we did it in a complete interest actually. So while we doing a project, right? So everyone from our batch were they doing some multi-story buildings in earthquake structures. Everyone they're doing it, on a high-level project. So we just took it a small bus terminus. We visited, our J's and A's in our corporation, and we got the plans, how the bus terminus, the specification plans, everything, and we plotted and we designed on our own according to the area. We personally went there and we surveyed and we calculated the traffic, everything, and we went to the bus depot also, the nearest bus depot, and we calculated how much how much passengers will be coming and going there, and how frequent the buses will go on there. So we analyzed everything. So even for the small bus terminus, right? So we analyzed everything and we did it like a real construction plan, and we gave it so that's what it happened actually. Whether they took it and executed the same way or not, but we are not. So we are happy, right? If you are going to see in our near future, you are going to do a project in somewhere, some area, but it's going to happen in the real life. That will be so we don't want more than anything else. So we actually get things more realistic. So any software engineer or mechanical, everything is there. We'll be getting a more job satisfaction than anyone. So while you're constructing house, right? So every day you'll be seeing a progress. So your baby is growing, right? So that's what. So if for every engineer, their first house is like a baby, and so that's what. Just every day you'll be seeing, seeing the growth, right? So that gives more satisfaction than anything, right? So being in software field and also designing softwares and all, so that doesn't give more satisfaction than when I was working in a site engineer. So that's what. But that's not going to help us for a long run. But still, I'm saying that. So we have a lot of opportunities like that. So let's take it as a building material, right? So we have our traditional materials to the latest. There are a lot of, right? For alternative bricks, we have some Poratham blocks. So anyone know about Poratham blocks? Any idea? Poratham blocks. Manimeghale, Shankar, anyone?
No clue, sir. I'm sorry.
No idea, sir.
No, that's fine. So it's not, it's a great alternative for, bricks, So Poratham blocks, it's like, so the older tiles, right, the sunroof tiles we'll be using the long back, right? So they'll be, building it a material just like a hollow blocks. It's not a hollow block. It's a, the square structure, and you'll be having a hollow in it, and that, that serves the exact the load bearing capacity and also the climatic properties of environmental properties of the bricks as well actually. But it's a lightweight and it's more reliable, and it's mainly manufacturing in the Bangalore. There is one unit they are manufacturing. While I was working for the ISA constructions, right, we have constructed a separate laboratory building with the help of Poratham blocks only. So for that, they gave some 1 week workshop in Bangalore. So we went there and they were explaining about all the things actually. So it's the same property, and yeah, I have constructed one of the residential building, a 2-storied residential building in Sababa Colony with Poratham blocks. So it's next to my first project actually. So there, I've constructed a house with the Poratham blocks. But it was nice. So how you feel inside the house, right? So like, it's a brick house. So it's inside the brick house. So how heat bearing everything, you'll feel normal actually. You'll feel actually. So it's not like, you don't feel you're just sitting it in a like in a hollow block or a ash bricks like that. So it won't be that much. It serves the property of the bricks, and it's a good alternative. But the only problem is you can't construct a more storied building actually. So it's you can't go more than 3-storied or 4-storied building. That's what. So it is. It can't be suitable for any office constructions like that. And high rise buildings, it won't be suitable. So it was invented by some of the students actually. So while they're in a while they're studying in their their bachelor's degree, right? They have invented. They are just they have invented, and they just got a patent for it, and they have been just working with all other units and manufacturing things, and they are selling it like that way. So it's all about the self-interest. Those guys, right? They were more interested in the building materials, and they are their factors and how the characteristics of the materials, and they have been more interested in that field, and they gave innovative material, right? So cost effective and innovative material, and it's a good alternative for bricks. So bricks are nowadays so costly, right? So that's in half the price of the brick you're going to pay for the Portham blocks, and it will be more reliable. So that's what you have a varied opportunities in building materials. If you guys are interested in building materials, right? So if you're going to learn about the characteristics more about it and our soil mechanics, everything there, so you can easily just into an invention of any innovative materials, and your material is going to be the talk of the market tomorrow. That's also is there. So building constructions we have, right? So nowadays, modern days, right? So we have a lot of there are a lot of innovations, and if you are seeing, if you are just while designing itself, you are seeing, right? It's these buildings are impossible to construct. Those buildings are those buildings are there still exist in this world actually. So they are making it happen. They are making it to real actually. The designs which are in paper are getting into real nowadays. Even if there is a lot of challenges or whatever may be, financial crisis, everything maybe, people are making it happen. For example, Dubai, we can see how many buildings and how impossible the skyscrapers are there. The people would have been imagined, so, and they have been laughed at the time when they started to building those skyscrapers. These are not going to be a feasible thing. Yes, there is a lot of failures are there. So there are a lot of constructions, there have been skyscrapers have been a failure also. But still, right? So we are getting improvised. So we are learning from our failures, and we are just improvising ourselves, and we are making it happen, right? So that's how building construction will work. So it's not about spending so much money. So building skyscrapers alone. It's also about constructing a low cost of how low the estimate of the house can be built. That's also matters actually. There are a lot of government projects you will get actually if you're quoting you're quoting a low amount, not only low actually. So it's an affordable amount, not compromising with your structures, your stability. If you're constructing a house, so you're going to be the boom of the market, and you'll be getting a lot of government opportunities. It's not like if you are having any recommendations or any support at the background support, you are going to take the government orders. Most of my friends from my batch, right, they are taking government contract, not from the civil engineering background, no support from their background. They are taking government contracts. They are applying for the tender, and they are getting it, and they are doing exceptional work there. So it's all about interest, the dedication, and how good you are performing in your field actually. How good, and how how you are loyal to your work you're doing. It's not all about making money. It's about so be loyal to yourself, be loyal to the work you're going to do. So that's how our field is growing so fast. Even if we are having a some contractors have a bad so there are bad happenings there, but still, right? So some valuable persons, right? So they are still growing, and they are being recognized for their work. So that's how we have to grow ourselves, and we have to, do our work like that. That's how it should be. Structural engineering. So, how many of you are planning to do structural engineering after your B? And how many of your professors are going to do masters in, structural engineering? So anyway, just we'll have an interactive. You can ask questions to me, and I can ask. It's not about question and answer. It's just we are discussing merely. It's just how many of you going to, going to be a structural engineering after that. Okay, let's see. How many of you are good at maths actually? So how many of you are saying that I'm good at maths? Because basically, if you are into a field of structural or anything, so we have to be good at maths. So why I'm saying it's good at maths, right? So if you're just going to design a structure, design a building structure wise, so every time you don't you should not roam with a paper or pen or with any mathematical devices like that. So you have to analyze, and you have to, based on your experience, and you have to develop your experience in calculating everything manually, and you have to do a mind calculation, and you have to be able to answer to the clients who are non-technical persons, who are going to ask questions at the site. Just saying this, how much price of this, the tile laying will cost, how the carpenter work will cost, how about the reinforcement will cost. For just for it's like it will come it will come along with the experience actually. It's just for a span of 10 by 10 room. So how many how many reinforcements you will be, what are the kinds of, what are the types are, and how many numbers of reinforcement you are going to put there. So everything will be like that. So those things, right, you have to be calculated, everything calculative. You have to be calculative, and you have to do everything on your mind, and you have to be able to be answer to the clients who's they are going to question you, or who is are going to ask you, and there proves your ability. So that will impress the customers or clients there. So not only the house construction, it's also comes to the you know our high roof, high rise constructions, and also for the skyscrapers. And you have to memorize your basic things, basic our units, everything. You have to that has to be uh, our key points. So that shows how good we are engineered in our college. This geotechnical engineering. So it's not all about constructing the houses, only the high roof or buildings or everything. It's all about, it's also about the the under soil constructions, like tunnels, subways, under bridges, everything. That is also more important. That avoids a lot of things actually. That avoids a lot of space, lot of traffic, lot of chances of collisions, accidents. So everything can be protected by that the underway constructions. So the underway things actually. So but before constructing any underway constructions, right? So you have to study more about the soils actually. The stability of the soil is more important. So the type of the soil which you're going to construct is also more important, especially while you're constructing any bridges or dams or any canals. So the waterborne areas, so those things, right? So it will be very helpful if you are going to study more about the soil mix. So it's like a one way discussion about it. So how many of you from Coimbatore? So anyone from Coimbatore can answer. Uh, the flyover at Vadagove, right? So who has designed it and who has constructed it? Anyone? Any idea? Shankar, Manimeglai, any other guys?
Sir, I think KNR Construction.
Sorry?
KNR Construction, sir.
So just forget about the constructions. Who has designed it actually?
Sir, I don't know, sir.
Yeah. So, the guys who are constructed, right? So they are the UG engineers of GCT, Government College of Technology. So they took it as a project. So there are 4 persons who has took it as a project in their final year project in BE, and they designed a flyover with a subway also. So how many of you noticed there's a subway, right? There is a subway under the flyover. So they have tested everything. They have designed. They have everything. They have planned, every designed, and they gave to the corporation for approval, and it got approved. They are the supervisors and the primary engineers at the time of construction. So just forget about the construction company. The designers and the planning, everything has been done by the students of the UG, the government college. That has been happened, the long back at the time, before we were born actually. So that time they have been, more excelled, and they were exceptionally, interested in, flyover constructions, and they have performed it. So that's how, right? So that's how. So everyone will be, interested about each field while we are learning about our engineering actually. So even I'm more about, transportation actually. So that's why I did 2 of my project in both, highways only. So one I just considered a bus terminus, and then the main project, and we have designed a bridge over the highways, which is happening right in near Karpam College and Ichinari Junction. So we have planning to construct there actually. So we have took a project up there for a highly accident prone area. So to avoid that, we just collected the surveys, and we just sit over for a 1 week. It took our traffic data, everything, and we analyzed how many accidents. We just went to the government hospitals and also the nearby police station, just getting the accident records we collected there, and we insisted the importance of the bridge, and we just worked on a project there. So and we submitted to our college. So whether I don't know when it's going to be but for that, right, we have it's like a simple, it's a simple two-way bridge actually. That's what its main reason is, to avoid the accidents that's been there. It's a major highway that has been connecting there. So to avoid that, we just thought of why we can't have a bridge to surpass the traffic, the local traffic, and also the highway traffic there. So that's how there's every person have every interest, and it will be it will be get showed in our project times actually. That's how we are choosing it, and that's how how loyal and how we were working hard to make that simple project that is not going to happen anywhere, but for a presentation itself, that will be it's a self satisfaction, right? So that you are going to you've done something by field work actually, so you put an effort. So that's how it speaks. So hydraulics, water resource, and irrigation engineering. This field, so if you are more interested in hydraulics, water resource, and irrigation engineering, so this area of our engineering will take you to at greater heights actually, especially in abroad, in overseas actually. So if you are interested in this field, right? So this irrigation, it's it's majorly concentrated in our country and also in China. But the water resource and hydraulics, right? So if you are more interested in this field, so we'll have a great future in our the overseas, because there a lot of steps has been taken for conserving water. Not like our country, we are wasting more water, but there, right? So they are they are working more hard to conserve the water. So constructing the waterborne structures, so we'll be having a great opportunity to work there actually. So we'll learn a lot of. So which is the largest dam in the world? Anyone? Largest and longest dam in the world? Any idea? Anyone? Anyone heard about Three Gorges Dam in China? Three Gorges Dam. So it's Three Gorges Dam is the largest and longest dam in the world actually. That is being constructed across the Chinese Canal. So where right it is the massive structure actually. So you can see that how long, how large the bridge, and how about the construction, how they did it. You can see it in YouTube actually. So that merely stops the Earth rotation by 0.03 seconds actually. So how when the dam is at full speed, right, it would slow down the Earth's rotation speed. So see how the construction is there, how the flow, how massive the construction is there, and how stable the dam has been there. So that's how it's there. So these are water supply and sanitary engineering. So these are the two mains actually. So to get the water, so in a clean and pure manner, without any delay, without any interruptions, with free from any diseases and maximum to the core. So we need a good water supply lines actually. So with a good water supply line, so you can do anything. You can that is the water is also the main life source, right? Like air, water is also the main life source. So water supply line to be it should be planned and channelized properly from the waterborne side, from the reservoir anywhere. It has to be domesticated, it has to be channelized, and it has to be supplied to the public without any interruptions. If you get a chance, just go and see the Sridharan water purification plant. So we went there when we were in UG, right? So we went there. We planned for an local IV and we went there. So it's like so you have to get the permission from the Tamil Nadu Water Supply Board, and you have to get permission from the DFO. So if you can able to get these things right, so if as a student, right, if you are going to ask them with the proper the proper channel or proper communication, you will be getting the permission, because we got it actually. We volunteers, 2 members, we went to the water supply board and we got the permission, and with the DFO we requested them, we got the permission, because it's located in the forest area, so you need to get the permission from DFO. If you get the chance, please go and visit there. So you will be you will find lot of things, how the 11 stages of water purification, you will know it, how water and what are the stages of water purification, everything will be there. So that is what. And sanitary irrigation is also main. So it's not like disposing the wastewater or solid to the environment, and if we are not going to make the health hazards, just it's a birthplace for the many new diseases which are going to come. So it's like how we are going to supply the domestic water to the public for their needs. It's also you have to channelize the wastewater that are just discharging from every home, and we have to channelize and we have to dispose them properly. So those are more important actually. So the one is more life than life needy, and the one is more life threatening actually. So you have to channelize both, and you have to supply adequate amounts to that actually. Yeah, any questions? Anything so far? Yes, let's be more interactive. Okay, fine. So, am I audible at least?
So it's audible,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. That's what. Let's have a discussion about it. Okay. let's have some discussions there. So that we, or just to forget about our just branches like no environmental engineering, we have to be more concerned about our environment. So how much emissions, everything you have to take into control. This comes mainly for the manufacturing industries. So if you are going to manufacture materials like cement or so any manufactured material, so you have to be more cautious about the the emissions that has been there. So anything that should not spoil how it has been there actually. So if you are going to construct anything new there, so it should not spoil the environment around there. It should not spoil around there actually. So you have to be in the position to give benefits to that. You should not take the benefits from there actually. You should not spoil there actually. So environment is more important. So like if you're constructing more like a factories, chemical industries, everything there, so it's your responsibility to provide a proper drains, and it should not it should not affect any nearby places, not only the environment, it's all the people around us. It's the transportations, it's my favorite field actually. So that's how both my projects were related to transportation actually. So without transportation, right, anything is not possible in modern days. So just construction, the transportations, everything, right? So it will be very essential, and people are doing more innovative every day and every year. Like the overseas countries like Japan, China, they have been excelled in their transportation, right? So how they are going to how they are able to build the the expressways, under tunnel ways, the rail lines, everything, right? So that's more that's a wonder actually, seriously. So how the way they develop the transportation, that that directly booms the development of their country actually. The good transportation will be needed actually to supply the goods, and that grows the economy of the country. So that's how we have to we are just more important in transportation. So you have to just look around the world actually. So how the world is growing, how the countries are growing faster, and how innovative they are implementing the things over transportation. So that inspires us actually. There are a lot of things that inspires us. So that when we are just doing a project, right? So one of the one of the JE, right, joint engineer of our corporation, Coimbatore Corporation, has just inspired us with a lot of things actually. So the how the bullet trains has been constructed initially, and why we are not able to do that. What are the problems there? So there are a lot of things there actually. So just forget about the politics, that economical constraints, funding, everything. But what we have done actually to our transportation systems. So are we aligned to the traffic? Are we are we just stand against exploitation of our public properties or roadways? No, right? Even we are just right. So that's what. So it's about that how you construct a simple road. So that should actually speaks a good engineer or not. Like how well you are repairing the roads, how well you are laying the roads, how well you are constructing the small tunnels or drain lines. So that speaks how good your engineer is, how well you are planned is. So that even if you are going to construct a good road, that is going to not that is going to stand for some another 10 or 20 years, then you are a good engineer actually. So if the road gets worn out by 1 or 2 years with more water bonds or heavy vehicle loads without proper load testing, then that speaks how good we are actually, how good we are not actually. So that's what. So that's how that's transportation is more important. So before constructing or going for any transportation related works or projects, right, traffic survey is must actually. So we have to sit. So still people, we are following the manual traffic survey. So we have a lot of equipments there. We're just placing the sensors on the road to detect the vehicle movement and going to count that. But still L&T, still they are following, still they are, hiring the students for intern, and they are making them to sit near the highway junction. They are, taking traffic survey manually by counting each and every vehicle and segregating and, differentiating, and they are calculating the count manually only. So manual method is still the one we are following in our country. So the town planning and architecture. So this is, this basically completely for a government and also some big private sectors actually. If you are well good in planning things, like, just like, as a kid we are good in arranging things. We are just like building blocks like that, everything. So if you are good in arranging things, if you are able to fit everything in a single place, maximum possible way, if you are going to fit in place. So we are good in, we are good in planning things, and we are good in arranging things in a small space. So that's how town planning work. So, how the government will just give a, ample area of a space between, between our, the people surrounding places, or any congested or any city centers. They will be giving you just plan a township here, just for constructing hospitals, and also, residential buildings, amenities, everything there. You have to be fit everything in a single place. You have to, you have to provide transportation for that. You have to plan transportation, you have to plan for the material supply, you have to plan for the maintenance things, and you have to plan the passage for the, the people. And you have to, to all the transportation and communication between everything, you have to plan. You have to fit everything in a single closely compact place. So that's how town planning and architecture will work actually. So if you are more interested in those things, putting all the things and, in a compact zone, and if you are making everything as per the standards, right, then we are good town planning engineer and architect. This is how, right? So if you are a good town planning engineer, then you can go for, government jobs, and you can directly offer a tender, and you can start your own concern there. Surveying, this is the first part actually. So before doing any constructions, so we have to just go and look into the place. We have to survey the place. We have to see through it. We have to just analyze what is there in and out actually. So not only the dimensions, so it also the soil properties, it also the environment, it also the climatic conditions, it also the transportation ways, it also the material supply, it also the labors, it also all the feasible things that are going in and out of the, on the work site actually. So we have a lot of, as we all studied there in our bachelor's, right? So we have a lot of surveying equipments, right, from conventional, modern, and, the remote sensing till from chains to remote sensing. We have a lot of equipments, so we can use it. It's not all places we have to use total stations. Not all places we have to use remote sensing. For some places we have to use chains only, tapes only, compasses. We have to use those things only. So we have to, pick the things which we require based on our needs. So drawing. So this is our 2D, two-dimensional image of our building. Right? It's like, it's like the birthplace of our, whatever the constructions we are going to do actually. So this is how we can able to easily, remove or add without any, without any, loss or anything actually. So this is the place where we have to, fine tune or make everything perfect. So that's how. So 1 minute. Yeah, sorry for the interruption. Yeah, so drawing, so we have to fine tune everything in the drawing. So even with the dimensions. So with the result of surveying, right, so we'll be getting the layout of our work site. So with that layout of our work site, we can discuss with our structural engineers, we can discuss with our architects. So we can work with our our other clients, so we can get the expectations, and also so the needs and how they want to the design their structure. So everything we can able to decide from there, and we have to plot points and lines, and that that results, and that come out as a plan. So first aim of our civil engineer, to memorize the plan. Actually, it is not like you have to roam your site with your site papers or plan papers with you. So it's not like that. So you have to memorize your plan as much as it is. So you have to tell what the dimensions without seeing your paper. So that's how it works. So, and one more thing. So no college is going to teach how to plan, how to draw a building plan. So there is no paper for us. Even when I study also, there is no paper for us for drawing or for planning. So it's all about how you learn with how you learn based on your engineering drawings, everything. It's all about your own interest. So there is no paper. So hope I'm not wrong. There is no paper for planning, right? Does anyone does any paper added now? Anything for planning, especially a paper for planning? Anyone? Any faculty members who are there? I guess it's no. Yeah, this is estimation and specification. This is more about more about it's not like an office work. So it is all about this matters actually. So the estimation and specification will be the first question will be asked by any client or customer. So if you're going to propose for any structure, if anyone calling you for construction of any house, first question they will be calling, right? What was the design you're going to build? They won't ask you. So they'll be simply saying that. So we need a 3 or 4 storied building to be constructed. So how much cost will be there? So you have to be in a position. You have to know all the market standards, market values for all the materials, labors, transportation, everything. You have to keep everything in mind, and you have to update yourself, and you have to be up to date. And just for a square meter, for 1,000 or 2,000 square feet. So what was the cost of a 2 or 3 story building? You have to be able to say a rough amount, so that makes them feel right. So we can able to give a job, the work to you or not. So you have to be updated with the current trends, current values, current the current charges you are going to pay for your materials or labor anyway. Yeah, the management techniques. So this is more about management. So this is all about it's not about management is related to only the big companies, and that we have some hundreds of engineers, and thousands of engineers and hundreds of chief engineers, and there is a boss, and they are going to manage everything. Only skyscrapers, only high-rise buildings, they'll be having the management. It's not like that. So it's all about management. Is all how you manage the work, how you manage the work, like from right from estimation, planning, execution, finishing and maintenance. How you plan your work, so that how the management skills are there actually. It's not only the financial management or the work management, it's also about how you manage your work actually. So how you plan your work. So what are the phases of work you are going to do, at what time you are going to do which work actually. So those things matters. Those are the management techniques that you are going to learn and going to follow actually. So that has to it has to be developed, developed in stage by stage by your experience. So you have to plan everything from the beginning itself. You have to, that's what I said, right? So it's not while surveying itself, you have to analyze from which day you have to start the building. So on what day you have to fix the concrete, and what day you have to put the foundation, what day you have to plaster, what day you have to do a brickwork, when you are going to do the interior works, when you are going to do the exterior works. So everything you have to plan. So that comes the management techniques. It's not about even a single site engineer who is going to manage or simply simple construction roads. He have to manage every work, and he have to plan it, and he has to, finish it at on time actually. So the on time delivery is more important. So whatever the situation may be, you have to deliver it on time. So these are the various softwares we available actually. So the lot of softwares has been developed lately, and we are also developing a lot of softwares. AutoCAD, and most of them we are aware of it. So while in first year itself, we'll be knowing it actually. AutoCAD will be there, and ArchiCAD, it's a 3D modeling, and 3D Studio Max is advanced. And Stat Pro is, it is for the structural engineers. So when you want to, put a structural design, so there is a software available called Stat Pro, and it will be helpful to design your, the reinforcements and also the foundations, everything, how the structure will be, and you can able to give the dead weight, live weight, and you can able to give the wind force, everything you can give, and you can test how stable the structure is. But so we have the various versions of Stat Pro also available, and Primavera is our pure management software. So it's all like estimation and calculation and management, how we are going to plan your phases of work, and also the estimation, everything will comes under the Primavera. So this is our role of our engineers, civil engineering society. So what are the role we are playing actually as a civil engineer in our society? So everywhere, so without us, right? So we are part of everything actually. So when you're going in a road, so you are there, you are the person who are constructed it. So just for pipeline, water line, fuel lines, or a bridges, houses, the building you work, all the engineers, right? So from the various fields are going to work in the the building you are constructed. So that's what I said, right? You are the foundation, we are the basement, and we are, without us, right? So no one will be having the shelter to work, or to dwell in their fields actually, to excel in any field, right? So we have to provide a shelter to them actually. So that's what. So we are actually responsible for everything. We are responsible for just keep the keep the environmental clean. So while we are working and after working, so our construction techniques, or the infrastructures or the buildings we build should not exploit the environments surrounded there, and it should serve as a protector for a people. It should not be a harm for anyone. So these are our effects of our infrastructure facilities. So what are the effects of if we our infrastructure facilities has been given to the country? So it's like, right, so it's all pure growth in the economy, right? So it's like if you provide a good water supply or good irrigation facilities, agriculture will boom, and we'll get a good products, and the customers will be benefited, and we'll be getting a low rate products. And if you're giving a good transportations, a lot of goods will reach a lot of peoples on time everywhere. And if you good educational institutions and more reliable education institutions, the government will come and come forward to construct more the more reliable and more affordable and more advanced education to all the even the poor people also in the villages. So where the schools and educations are not at all been going to receive, right? So there, even if we are in a position to give them a good affordable way of construction methods, then the government eventually will take a step and do all the type of constructions to the places where education is not at all reached there. So those things, right? So these are the effects of our infrastructure facilities, what we are going to do. And this will give jobs to the people who are in need actually. So not only the educated to work in our field, it's also the normal layman, the one who's not educated also can able to work there. So we give work to all the ones, both the literate guy and illiterate guy actually. So that's our field, right? So we give job to anyone. So not only we are giving job both men and women. So we are not showing any partiality. So we are not going to test anyone. So even a layman can work. Anyone can come and work there, and they can gain an experience and they can start our own business. That's our job. We don't want to be a civil engineer to construct a house. Actually, you have to see, you have to sit and you have to roam and you have to walk and you have to see, and how deep you are going to see in your site. That, that makes you a good contractor, and you'll become a contractor there. You are going to construct an own house actually, with all base of an experience. No, what you're going to study in our engineering, right? So that is not going to help in our site actually. The site is completely different actually. You'll learn a lot of things there, lot of practical problems there, lot of practical, So our code books, nothing will work in the common site when you're going to, construct a house. But code books, everything will work when you're going to, when you're going to construct a big high-rise buildings, or a bridges or a dams, or like the public usage constructions. That will really help there. So these are the various career opportunities we have in our field actually. There are three types. One, we have a field job, and one we have a research, and we have a management thing. So field job, either you can go to a construction firm, small or big construction firm as a private sector, we can work, or you can work under a public sector like this one, and then you can able to go into a government sector actually. So this all three, private sector and public sector, right? We can have an interview, we can attend over there, and we can work there. Government sector, we have to write exams. So you have to write, either you have to write exams, or to be a surveyor, right? So to be a government surveyor or estimator, you have to put a plan with all the specifications as per the government norms, and you have to submit to the corporation. And if a plan gets approved, plan gets approved, and it as per the government norms, there is a tool and software available there. If that software approves your plan, and if it is 100% correct, then you will be eligible as a surveyor. You will become a government surveyor, and you can able to sign in as a greening, and you can approve plans actually. If there is anyone who is going to get plan approval, so it needs to be first approved by a surveyor. So you can be a surveyor there. With that thing, you can get bank jobs, right? Both public and private banks, they have a separate job called a surveyor. So there, what you will be getting, right? So before any customer going to take a loan for a constructed house or to be constructed house, you are the person sent from the bank to survey the place, either the house or the land, and based on your report only, they'll sanction the loans. So you will be getting paid for that as a bank. So you will be having a bank jobs there, and like that. So these are the field jobs. And research, you can do ME, MTech, PhD in our in your specialization. So say we have a lot of disciplines in civil engineering, right? So you can take any one field and you can do your masters there, and you can do your PhD there, doctorate there. So that will be there. And the scientist and invention. So government, civil engineers are more welcome in our defense also. So like Army, Navy, Air Force, we guys are more welcomed there. So civil engineers have a lot of jobs in our armed forces, and also we can apply for DRDO, we can apply for our ASRO. We have a lot of opportunities there. We can directly go to the website, we can apply for the job, and our field is eligible for applying our both armed forces and research field. Like management studies, so it's like it's pure client side. So this like when you're doing a IIM, MBA in IIM, or just PG courses like in NICMAR, construction management courses in NICMAR, RICS, and NITE. So you are most welcomed by the largest construction companies for their management work actually. So the construction team, the contractor team will be there. So your job is to plan the work, so get the work done, and you have to monitor how the people are working under you. It's all pure management. It's like you have to manage quality, you have to manage quantity, you have to manage the work culture, you have to manage the cost, you have to manage the project proceedings, you have to manage the clients also. So that's how it will be there. So if anyone is interested in management, you can go to like just these institutions listed below. So these are the career opportunities in private sectors. Like a lot of private sectors are doing even in highways and airports and our IT buildings. So special economic zone buildings are there, and maximum of the constructions has been given to private now. So it is you are the young and energetic engineers with the great talent and great skills are welcomed by the companies, and they are ready to offer the job. And you can learn a lot of things with the people who work around you, have a lot of experience from there, and that that boosts your level and you can go up to heights. That's public. So this public sector industries, our government organizations like that NAL, HAL, the airport authority, and the steel corporations and our oil corporations, these places where we have our jobs actually as a civil engineer. So new constructions and management sites and construction sites will be there, and you will be deployed there, and you have to work there actually. These are the civil services and government sector jobs actually. So we can opt for IAS, IPS, IFS, and even IES is there, the central government UPSC exam. And state government, we have our Group 2 and Group 4. We can apply for the uh, for our AE and all, so we can apply and we can work all day. Yeah, these Indian engineering services. So we are the most eligible persons for Indian engineering services. We can go for the railway jobs. So in railway, right? So we have a separate paper called railway engineering, right? So there we can able to see. So what are the the works we are going to do in the railway? Yeah, is there anyone speaking there?
So
Anyone?
no, sir, you can proceed.
Yeah. So lot of opportunities in Indian engineering services, especially in railway, military, and the central water engineering, assistant executive engineer, survey of Indian service. This all post we can apply and we can get. We will be posted across India, and we'll be treated like treated like our treated equally like our armed forces, and also the engineers will be treated. It's like how the IPS, IAS, and IFS, it's next to IES, it's Indian Engineering Service. UPSC is the exam you have to attend and you have to go through it, get through it. These are the career opportunities in research. So these are the fields you can opt for while you are just choosing your masters or MTech there. So we have building science, geotechnology, hydraulics, infrastructure, structural, transportation, building technology, soil mechanics, geoinformatics. Geoinformatics is like it's more about it is a modern technology and also the the soil nature. So you are detecting a soil nature and their characteristics with the modern equipments. That's how that's how we are using it now. We are not using any traditional methods to test the soil and all nowadays. So we have a lot of advanced machines and equipments that test the soil, and this information that has been cascaded, and that is very much useful for a lot of things actually. Even we are using satellites to test the to know the behavior of and characteristics of the soil and water bodies around there. So that field comes under geoinformatics. And highway technology, that offshore structures and traffic and transportation planning. These any of the fields we can select and do our masters there. Career opportunities, international studies. So that's what GRE. So GRE, if you're able to clear GRE, and you can apply for masters in overseas like US, UK, Australia, European countries. You can apply actually. So a lot of advanced engineering technologies are there. They are taught there, and getting government job in states also, it will be reliable on. So if you are good in college, if you are doing a good progress with your academics, and you're good in your project, so you don't have to worry about the external sources like recommendations your reservations in the states, in US or any overseas countries, you can directly apply to the exam where the government posts, and if you are able to get through it, you'll be directly posted there. So many of my friends who did masters there, they are directly working under US government actually. So they have started their work in the consultancy who they are working, the consultancy who they are actually taking the works from the government, and they are doing it. They just started their career under the consultancies, and after they attended some 2 to 3 exams which has been conducted by the states government, and they are able to get through it, and they are started working under the US government itself. They direct the town planning and infrastructure department, they are working on it. So we have a lot of government opportunities in international studies also. It's not like when you're going to do masters, you are being put into a private job only. It's not like that. You can able to be work under the country's government also. So these are the other options we have in civil engineering apart from building. So we have irrigation, drainage, airport authorities, R&D, and PWD. So you can be a government official in PWD, town planning engineer, port and dock, harbor, railway, bank. Like I said, right, bank, and we can able to be in armed forces defense. So it's all apart. So these are jobs. So what about your own business? So anyone who is interested in doing starting a own business after engineering, so with or without background support, you can start, right? So you can just you can work for my suggestion is to work in a small concern at the beginning stage, not in a big construction company like L&T or lot of companies are there, right? So you don't want to work in a big company. So what is the problem if you are working in big company, right? You will be put in a single work only. So like there are a lot of constructions will be going on. You'll be put into only in foundation. You'll be put into only in brickwork. You'll be put it only in plastering, or you will be supervising only one part actually. You'll not get a chance how the basic how it started from the scratch. But what if you are working in a small concern, just forget about the salary for 1 or 2 years. So till you're able to construct a house on your, or till you're able to get a contact, till you're able to get a client, right? So definitely if you work well in a company, the company will just help you to grow actually. So I worked in a very small company for 6,000 rupees initially after completing my engineering. So Isha, so I just put into just it's almost a finished work actually. Just painting was there. I was put into painting. So I just every day I have to monitor how how much area they painted like that, and how many classrooms they painted. That's all. 3 months I was there only, just looking at the painting workout. That's all. But there I had a client engineer, and I interacted with them, and I learned a lot of things there. After that, I got a chance, to construct a house. So that the concern which I worked there, they just deployed in a site where it started from the scratch, right from the soil excavation, foundation, everything, site marking, right from the site marking, I did everything. So that that gave a good experience to me actually. So how from the scratch, from the site marking to finishing, I was there. So that helped me a lot actually. So I learned a lot of things. So that made me to get 2 houses completed after my first project actually. So I got a client. So the nearby surrounding people, they came and just talked with me, and I expressed my interest towards them. Like I can able to, even I was looking for an opportunity to start a business on my own, to construct a own. So I got a client. So after talking some for 20 to 30 people, I got one contact, and I got a client. Actually, they are just getting a client. Good client is also a fortune. Actually, it's not how great you are doing your work and how you're loyal you are doing, but getting a good client is fortune actually. But keeping that client and just getting more clients from that client, right? So that is purely your loyalty and your hard work actually. So that speaks actually how wise I supervised there and how loyal to my work. When I constructed for when I just worked for a company and I constructed a house for them, I just took it seriously as I was constructing the house actually. So I just it is not like I treated that it was, you know, I'm doing my construction for my own. That's how I just shown interest. So they were very impressed with that, and that helped me to get two other clients. And that's how, you know, I just accomplished the 2 residential buildings there in Savava Colony. So then later I developed my interest in software, and I just went over there and I was doing both client and the software development. So that's how. So that's how it all should go. So whether it's your business or your job, so you have to be very loyal what you're doing. So that's all. So any other questions, guys? Any questions? We have came to an end.
So thank you so much, sir. So participants, if you have any queries, please ask now.
Hello, good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Sir, is there any law for working time for especially engineers, civil engineers? Because there are law for laborers or workmen, but we are saying that there is no law for and company of all the private and limited company misguiding their employee. So how we can overcome this situation? Sir?
So that's what. So that's what, right? So when you're working on a company, it's everyone is working for a profit only. So they will be, you know, they have some process standards, and they have the things actually how they are going it actually. So we can't able to fight over there. So if you're working for a big company like L&T, you're going to say, this is my book, this is my standard, this is how the mixes should be there, this is how you have to do work. No one is going to listen actually. So no one is going to listen actually. So but you have to be in that position. You have to grow yourself. And you have to be in a position to change those things. You have to work hard actually. So being a site engineer, you can't go and do you go and, you know, say to anyone that this is what you are doing is wrong or not. So that is how that's what, right? So that's how our country and that's how our construction techniques are going like that in big companies. That is what I am saying, that if you are going to start in a very small company, you will get a chance to just, you know, to make your workers to work on your own, to work as per your expectations, as per your standards. But just keep things in your mind actually. The things, right, the standards you are following, right, those are not going to be followed in the real side actually, real life. That is what I'm saying, right? The things which we are learning in book, it is not same as the things you are going to execute in the field actually. It's completely contrast. If you're going to, you know, going to express everything as per the standard, you can't able to construct a house with the you know, with the market standard actually. So you have to make compromises, but you will know actually. So you'll know. But if you're just, you know, keep lowering your standards, not lowering below the, you know, hazardous limit, just lowering it will not harm actually, because we have only book knowledge actually, we have only theoretical knowledge. But practical thing, those workers, right, those contractors, they'll be having more experience about it. They have considered a lot of house. There is some reason actually. So we have to, you know, listen everything actually. We have to hear first, we have to understand the things first, we have to get things first. So that only after just you know, getting all the knowledge, we can able to know why, you know, why you guys, why they are just you know, saying that the quality, this is enough, this much cement, this much sand, this much water is enough. Why they're saying that? You will be knowing it actually. Those things you will learn by experience actually, because that is more important. So we are more into theoretical, they are more into practical. So if you are going to work their side, you have to first listen to them, and then you have to, you know, make them work on your you know, your convenience or as per your standards. and that that helps to grow. That helps you to grow a lot. And when you are going to start your own business, right, you can you can work as per your standards, what you have learned in your engineering, everything. But once you are experienced for 2 to 3 years, right, you will definitely know what you are learned in our engineering, right. That will not help for us simple house constructions like that. So that's what practical is different, theoretical is different. These codes and these theorems, everything has been calculated long years ago. Now the economic field conditions, market standards, everything has been changed. So we have to, we have to adjust and work accordingly. That's how we can. It will help us to grow like that.
Thank you, sir. As I am person from industry, and then I am working in PMC company, sir. But
Okay.
I know many things, theoretical thing not implemented on site cannot be implemented on site. If we implement all the theoretical things, then to perform work is not too easy, and it will should take more than the double of the time period as per the contract. So, but sir, according to company point of view, we have seen even in such this pandemic, company got not so loss, but on the name of pandemic, they have deducted salary of employee and also minimize their increments. So there is so many challenge with employee only. What employer getting fund in this pandemic also. Yes, of course, new entrepreneur got affected due to this pandemic, but many multinational companies not affected like that they are showing. Sir, right? Is this right?
It is not right actually. So it is not right. So that is what said, right? It is not right. So whether if we can able to question them, so we can't able to question them. So that is what. So it's not like we can't question them because we have to be in their position, and this the things they are facing, they have some standards. They are not going, they are not ready to lower their profit actually. That is what the major thing. The MNCs or multinational companies, they are cutting their salaries during the pandemic, right? So the production has stopped. They are not going to they are not ready to lose their per capita income actually. They are not ready to use their yearly income. So they have to be in a safe hands. So for that, they are reducing they're just cutting our salary in our heads. So that is what it has been happening. Not only in this field, actually, in all the fields. Just to think about it. So if you are not working in a company, you are owning a concern. So you are owning a small constructing firm. So will you be able to provide complete salary to all the workers for this pandemic? So you are holding a constructing firm, and your projects are you have 2 to 3 houses constructing is on the process, and you have around some 20 to 30 people working under you. Will you be able to pay complete salary to them?
No, sir. For a small enterprises, it's not possible. But
Oh.
for MNC and many people, especially for PMC company, they are getting many profits, sir. If they are getting profit of 1 crore, they are spending only 40 lakh only one employee, and 60 lakh they are getting in. Especially in, I am talking for PMC company, sir. Especially not for contracting company. PMC company, if not getting bill in 1 month and 2 months, then next in third month they are getting it's more than their average payment. So, but they are not giving to their employees, sir.
So that's what. Everyone having every different needs, right? So we can't able to judge anyone's, right? So that's what. So it's not for a small firm we can able to easily judge. So that's what my economic conditions. For big company, they'll be having definitely a lot of debts, everything there, right? So we can't able to judge anything. So without knowing everything completely, so without knowing their profits also completely, their debts and their shares, everything completely, we can't able to justify anyone. So we can't able to question them to pay us complete salary also. So we are both not in a position to question them. We are not in a position to analyze them. So we are not up to that standard such. Either we have to grow to that level and we have to ask questions, and we have to know things better than that.
Right, sir. Right. Actually, I was asking for any law, but there is no law, sir, right now.
Yeah. Any other queries?
There
All
is a
done?
question in on chat box, sir.
Okay. Just
Sir,
wait.
which field is best in civil engineering, like site engineer, design engineer, teaching, etc.?
No, it's not about what to say. It's not about the best field in civil engineering. Actually, it's all about your interest. So, what was your interest? If you are not, if I say design is best field, if you are not interested in design, if you are more about site, will you go and do the design job for me? No, right? So that is how every field has its own values actually. So like a lot of disciplines they were listed, right? Every field has its own values actually. There are a lot of opportunities in each and every field. Only thing is how hard and how deep we explore. That comes actually. That comes as the output, and that's how you will be put into a greater height, whatever the field may be. So it's not like everyone has to go structural, or it's not like everyone has to go design, or not like everyone has to go to site. Management is there, software is there. So see, I'm into software. So I wasn't working in site engineering, site supervisor. I completed 2 hours, but I had an interest switch over to software. I worked there, and I'm developing there, and from there I'm again, my interest just pulled me there and put forward me to work as a client engineer for the software company, and I'm working there also, right? So that is how. So it's what your interest speaks actually, and how hard you work for your interest. So I worked hard for site supervisor. I got 2 clients. I worked there, and I worked hard for the softwares, and I got into 3 IT companies, and I'm working there. And again, I want to prove myself in site also, because my experience spoken, right? So there, I just again working as a client engineer. So that's how, right? It's not about what field you choose; it's how hard you work. That speaks actually. So it's not about this is the best one, this is the worst, like that. So each and every field is best only. It's how you take it. One question is there: can a civil engineer have an option of work from home in this pandemic? Can you please prefer the field? Civil engineer has a work from home field. Without field work, our work is very less only. We won't be getting any work from home. Only design engineers, like structural engineers, if they have any pending design jobs, very big concerns, they are working as an work from home. And most probably, 60% of our work is 60 to 70% of our work is comes under site only. So if there is any pandemic, no workers are available, and we are not able to go to the site, we can't able to get that. How do I seek a job in Harbor? Do I have to take up any exam? Yes, definitely. You have to apply for UPSC. So there are if you, Indian engineering services, you will be having an opportunity for working, harbor and the waterborne areas. So where you can able to get that harbor related jobs. Also, you can apply for a marine engineering. Just just apply for Navy. There is our government defense site, right? Just apply for Navy. Civil engineers are eligible for it. You just apply for it, take an aptitude. There will be a group discussion, and then you will be put into Cochin for the training. If you are gone through the training, so you will be put in harbor, or both in harbor and in ships. So you will be equal to the marine engineer actually. As a civil engineer, you can work as it's a naval admin, so that you can do it. I want to become a good contractor. What can I do after my BTech? Just that's what I saw, right? Venkateswaralu. So just join in a small firm, like a small firm who is constructing small houses. Start learning from the scratch. Get more experience. Be friendly. Be communicative with the people around you. You will be able to get the clients' contracts. That's how you will become a good contractor. Be more loyal to your work. Be strict to your workers. Plan your work systematically. That helps. So good questions. Thanks for being the wonderful audience today. So yeah. Yeah, I'll be sharing the link. Yeah, I'll be sharing the link to your HOD. Yeah, I'll be sharing the link, the presentation link. I'll be sharing it.
So thank you so
Thank
much,
you,
sir.
sir.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Vignesh. Thank you, Shankar,
Thank
for
you so much, sir.
organizing. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, sir, for spending valuable time and providing wonderful information, sir.
Yeah.
Sir,
Sridhar, thank you so much for accepting our invitation, Sridhar.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I think I have to, just tell, right? So your HOD, Muthupriya, ma'am, I was just, she was my professor in Krishna College of Technology. So she's been a good professor and wonderful, time we spent together actually in classes. So that's what. So thanks, ma'am, actually for giving me this opportunity after 7 long years. Just giving me this opportunity for just giving a presentation about our field and our scopes. Hope. Yeah.
Thank you, Sridhar. Thank you.
Yeah.
And thank you for accepting our invitation. I know you are very busy in your work schedule, but you accepted an invitation. Thank you so much. Informative session.
Yeah.
I have joined only in between, but
Okay.
I see your PPT.
Yeah.
A very good response from participants. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sridhar.
Yeah. Thanks, ma'am. Yeah. Thanks. Anytime, guys. Anytime you can reach me, ma'am, for any other sessions. Yeah. If I'm available, I'll let you know. Definitely, I'll take it out.
Thank you, Sridhar.
Yeah.
Vignesh,
ma'am?
attendance link is shared. Huh?
Yes, ma'am. It's posted in chat box, ma'am.
Okay.
So participants, kindly fill the attendance link. Is posted in chat box. So participants, kindly join the tomorrow session. Tomorrow morning 10:30 a.m. Same Google Meet link ID to be followed. So thank you all for your active participations. So participants, kindly fill the attendance links within the 15 minutes. So after that 15 minutes, we have stopped the response.